just wanted to share a couple of little things for beginners. I won't be the yoga teacher for everybody. I don't think that I am by any stretch. I think different people resonate with different people. But I started when I was 40 and I started on YouTube because I didn't want to go to a class because I felt intimidated by the fact there'd be loads of bendy people there. So I just wanted to share some stuff to give back, I guess. And because I'm like all over the place with my life at the minute in different locations and stuff, it's hard to kind of teach, and I love teaching. So I just thought I'd put some stuff on here, and then if anyone wants to, they can access it whenever they like. So the first thing that I would like to say is if you find it hard to sit cross-legged, you can sit on something. So I have a cushion, which is a meditation cushion. It looks like a smile, but you don't have to use a special cushion. So if you find it really difficult, if your knees are up in the air when you sit down, then sit on a cushion. Pop the cushion under your bum and shuffle forwards a bit so you're sat on the edge, and it should be a lot more comfortable for you. Tip number 1. And then what I really want to do is just break down a sun salutation. Some days you might only want to do a minute or 5 minutes, and other days you might feel like doing longer, you might have more time. So a sun salutation is essentially a group of movements that are linked together, and there are specific ways that you can do sun salutations, like the traditional way of doing them, but they're not always completely accessible, I don't think, for beginners. So I'm going to break it down, and some of the moves are a bit weird and a bit hard. And the idea is that when you get the hang of the sun salutation, I'll do like some complete ones at the end of this, so when you've got into it a bit more, you can go straight to the end of this. If you do practice at home as well, if you have a mirror, or if not, you can use your phone, like that's what I did when I started, so you can see yourself and see your alignment, and just it doesn't really matter what you look like, but it's just to help your brain with what's called proprioception, which is like an understanding of where your limbs are in space. So if you use something to see yourself, then you get a better idea, and it just helps you understand your body a bit more, I think. But it's all about how it feels, so the most important thing is how it feels. And for anything to do with kneeling, I recommend, if you're on a hard floor, if you have any issues with your knees, or even if you don't, put something under your knee, like a cushion or like a folded up jumper or whatever, anything. If you've got a really thick squishy mat, then that might be enough for you. But just be mindful if you have a really thick squishy mat, if you're doing standing balances, it's like being on a balance board. So sometimes you might want to step off your mat, and you can always use props. Props help your body to learn. And then when you feel more confident in a pose, then you can take the props away, or gradually start to take the props away. So enough of that. I'm going to go through a sun salutation. The first few movements will be standing in something called Tadasana, or mountain pose, at the front of the mat. And you're going to try and link the breath with the movement. So you're going to inhale your arms up to the sky, and then you're going to exhale to fold forwards. And as you fold forwards, bend your knees. Unless you're super flexible, bend your knees so your belly is resting on your thighs. And then from here, you're going to step 1 foot back, coming into a low lunge. So I'm just going to demonstrate that. Inhale, taking your arms up. Exhale, generous bend in your knees, fold all the way down to the ground. Step your left foot back, knee down, and tuck your toes. So here you're in what's called a low lunge, with one leg back, your knee down on the floor, and your foot with your toes untucked. You can keep your hands on the floor here. If it's too much, sorry, the sun's just come into my face. If it's too much, you can put your hands on blocks or books or a table or like anything, just to raise your hands up. If you're happy here, then you can stay down here. So we're going to go from this lunge position. You're then going to tuck the toe of the left foot and step back into plank. So if plank's too much for you, you can put your knees down into what's called half plank. From the low lunge, tuck your back toe, lift your knee, step back into plank, pushing up between your shoulders, pushing back into your feet. If this is too much, lower your knees into half plank. Again, full plank, lift your knees, push back into your heels. From plank, or from a half plank, so with your knees down, we're going to move into a really strange looking pose, which is basically where you put your knees are down, and you put your chest and your chin on the floor. So you're kind of going into a little bit of a back bend. Your bum stays up in the air. Oh, there's a dog. So your bum stays up in the air and your chest and your chin are on the floor and your toes. So you have toes in contact, knees in contact, chest in contact, chin in contact. And your hands. Okay? It's called knees, chest, chin. If it's too much for you, if you find it too difficult, then you can just lower yourself straight down onto the floor. So I'll show you both of those options. First option, starting in plank or half plank, bring your knees down. Then you're going to lower your chest just between your hands and your chin, facing forwards. Knees, chest, chin. Or knees down, untuck your toes all the way down to the ground. So 2 options, as I said. So you can either keep your toes tucked and come down into that 8-limbed pose, knees, chest, chin. Or you can untuck your toes and just lower yourself straight down onto the mat. Little by little, we build this up. Okay, so from here, you're going to go into what's called Cobra pose, which is a back bend. And it's really important in Cobra that you're not pushing into your lower back. So if you imagine, you're going to grip your fingers into the floor and pull your ribs forward. So you're kind of pulling your chest forwards and then you lift up. And it doesn't matter how high you go. What you should be able to do, ideally, is lift your hands off the floor. So you're not forcing yourself into a back bend. You're using your back strength to lift yourself up a little bit. And that's called Cobra pose. So I'll just show you that. So from knees, chest, chin, slide yourself forwards along the floor and tuck your toes, lifting the top of your chest, ideally being able to lift your hands. This is Cobra. What you're not doing is forcing yourself up, compressing your lower back. That's not good. So see if you can lift your hands using your back strength. From Cobra pose, for this variation, we're going to go back into child's pose. So at any point in time in yoga classes, people will often say to you, if you need to take a rest, find child's pose. Not everybody finds child's pose accessible or restful. So any time you need to take a rest, if you just want to lie down on the floor, lie down on the floor. Do whatever works for you. But if you're with me in this flow, we're going to use child's pose, which is basically where you push your bum over your heels. Okay, so you're going to go from being in Cobra pose at the front of the mat, take the weight into your hands, push your whole body back, bend your knees so your bum is on your heels, or thereabouts. It might not go there. So from Cobra, hands come down, take a breath, exhale, bum to heels, child's pose. 2 options, either child's pose with your knees together, bringing your arms in front, head to the floor, or knees wide with your toes touching, and then bringing your hands on your chest and your head down to the floor again. If you're still with me, from child's pose, we're going to go into downward facing dog. Now yoga uses wrists and hands a lot, so if it's too much for you, you don't have to come into downward facing dog. You can just walk your hands back towards you and come into a fold at the back of the mat, and then you can walk to the front afterwards. Or if you want to try downward facing dog, you're going to take your hands wide and you either have your middle finger or your index finger pointing to the front of the mat, whatever feels more comfortable for you. Turn your hands ever so slightly out if that feels good. You're going to grip into all of your fingers onto the mat. And then the important part of your body position in downward facing dog is the top half of your body. So it doesn't matter if your heels are lifted and your knees are bent. What you need to do is try and create a straight line through the top part of your body. Almost like, we're not going to, but almost like you're going to do a handstand. Kind of imagine that sort of vibe. So I'll show you the 2 options. So 1 is downward facing dog and 2 is to go back into a fold at the back of the mat. So from child's pose, take a breath, rock your weight forwards, tuck your toes. As you exhale, send your hips to the sky, knees bent and heels lifted if you need. Second option, bring your hands back towards you and in any way you want to, bring your feet onto the floor, your head down into forward fold or ragdoll. So then from downward facing dog, you're going to step the left leg forwards, which is the same leg that you stepped back at the beginning. If you're in a standing fold, I was actually showing ragdoll there, where your knees are bent and you're holding your opposite elbows and having a little sway from side to side. And the idea in ragdoll is that you're trying to get your belly resting on your thighs. So your legs aren't straight like this, they're bent. And then your head is heavy. Your knees are really generously bent, so your belly is resting on your thighs. You're not rounding through your back trying to reach the floor. You're trying to get your belly in contact with your thighs. So if you're in downward facing dog, you're going to step your left foot forwards, and if that's too much, if it doesn't make it, like pick it up and hoik it to the front of the mat, and then coming into a lunge on that side. So releasing your back knee to the floor and then tucking your toes. If you're in a standing fold, you're just going to walk to the front of the mat and then start again from the right hand side. So you're just going to do one leg at a time if you're in a standing fold. So from downward facing dog, step your left leg forwards. If it doesn't make it, give it a hand. Right knee down and tuck your toes. So again, stepping your left leg forward, right knee down and tuck your toes. This is a low lunge. From here, you're going to tuck the toes again of the right foot, lift the back knee and step forwards into a forward fold at the front of the mat. Just making this super, super simple, hopefully. Okay, so I'll just show you that one more time. Downward dog, stepping the left leg forwards, give it a hand if it doesn't make it, right knee down and tuck your toes. Then you're going to tuck your toes again, take a breath in, and as you exhale, step to the front into a fold. If you're in Ragdoll, inhale all the way up to standing, and then walk to the front of the mat. Okay, so this is going to be demonstration number 1, not including downward facing dog, if you've got any wrist issues, and half plank, and no knees, chest, chin. So this is going to be super, super simple, the most simple sun salutation that I can come up with, okay? Starting with your hands at your heart, inhale, arms up. Exhale, gentle bend in your knees, fold all the way down to the ground. Step your left leg back, knee down and tuck your toes into a lunge. You're then going to step back into half plank, so lift your back knee, step both legs back, down onto your knees, half plank, lower all the way down to the ground. Lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together, hands off the floor. Take a breath in, exhale, bum to heels, child's pose. Take another breath there, and when you're ready, walk your hands back towards you and then find Ragdoll or a fold at the back of the mat. Inhale, come all the way up to standing again. Exhale, hands to heart, and then walk to the front of the mat, or you can just turn around. So do the right side this time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to fold, step your right leg back, knees down and tuck your toes. Lunge. You're going to step the other foot back to meet it, then coming into a half plank with your knees on the floor. Take a breath, exhale all the way down to the ground, so you're lying flat on the floor. Inhale to Cobra, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your hands. Exhale, hands come down, send your bum back to your heels, child's pose. Take another breath here, and then when you're ready, walk your hands back towards you and find Ragdoll or a fold at the back of the mat. Release your hands, then inhale all the way up to standing, sweep your arms up, exhale, hands to heart. Turn around again, left side, inhale up, exhale, bend your knees, fold all the way down, step your left leg back, knee down and tuck your toe. Lunge. If you're comfortable here and you want to, you can try bringing your hands onto your front knee, still maintaining that lunge position, but with your hands a bit higher up. And then you're going to release your hands to the floor, coming back into half plank or plank, knees down, lower yourself all the way down to the ground. Inhale to Cobra, squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your chest. Hands down with a breath out, back to child's pose. Take another breath, and then when you're ready, pushing yourself back into a fold at the back of the mat. Take your time, find Ragdoll, knees bent, belly on thighs. When you're ready, inhale all the way up to standing. Don't forget to breathe out at some point. Exhale, hands to heart. Turn around, right side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, fold all the way down. Step your right leg back, knee down and tuck your toes. Again, you can come up onto the front leg if you want to, or you can keep your hands down or on blocks. With an exhalation, hands come down, step back, lower your knees, half plank, and then all the way down to the ground. Take as long or as little time as you like. Inhale, Cobra, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your hands. Exhale, hands come down, go all the way back into child's pose. Take another breath here. Then when you're ready, walk your hands back towards your feet, roll over your toes, and come into a Ragdoll, knees bent, belly on thighs. With an exhalation, release your hands and inhale all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Option number 2. So you can play around with that and add downward facing dog in and things if you want to. When I put the version with downward facing dog, I'm going to stay in plank, and I'm going to use the knees, chest, chin. Okay? And we're just going to do 2 on each side of this variation. So this is variation number 2. Okay? Starting at the top of the mat, hands to heart, inhale, arms up. Exhaling into a fold, gentle bend in the knee, hands all the way down. Stepping your left leg back, knee down and tuck your toes. Coming up onto the front leg if you want to. Take a breath. Exhale, hands come down, step back into plank. Take another breath here. Exhale, release your knees, your chest and your chin. Inhale, come through to Cobra, flat on the floor. Lift your hands. Exhale, hands come down, back to child's pose, bum over heels. Take another breath here. Rock yourself forwards, tuck your toes, and with an exhalation, go back into downward facing dog. Take another breath. Lift your left leg and then step it forwards. If it doesn't make it, give it a hand. Right knee down and tuck your toes. Again, option to bring your hands onto the front leg if you want to. Take another breath here. Then when you're ready, exhale, step the right foot forwards to meet the left into a fold at the front of the mat. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale to bring your hands to your heart. Opposite side, inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, fold all the way down. Stepping your right leg back this time, knee down and tuck your toes. Opposite side. If you want to come onto the front leg, you can with a breath in. Exhale, release your hands, step back into plank. Take another breath. Exhale, release your knees, your chest and your chin. Inhale, scooch forwards through to Cobra, lift your hands. Tuck your toes, exhale, child's pose. Inhale, scooch forwards, and when you're ready, exhale back into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg steps forwards. Exhale, knee down and tuck your toes. Again, if you want to, inhale, bring your hands onto your front leg. Exhale, hands come down, step to the front into a fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart. Other side, and this time I'm going to go straight from Cobra back to downward facing dog. But for this, you're going to lift from Cobra up into plank and then hinge in the middle. If it's too much, child's pose every time. Starting hands to heart, inhale, arms up. Exhaling all the way down into a fold, bend your knees. Stepping your left leg back, knee down and tuck your toes. Inhale, bring your hands onto the front thigh, or if you're feeling fruity, all the way up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands down, step back into plank. You're going to take another breath here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhaling through to Cobra. Lift your hands if you want to in Cobra. Exhaling to downward facing dog. Inhale, stepping your left leg forwards. Exhale, release your right knee and tuck your toes. Hands onto the front thigh with a breath in, or all the way up to the sky for a lunge. Exhaling, bring your hands down, and then you're going to step to the front of the mat into a fold. And then inhale all the way up to standing again. Exhaling, hands to heart. Opposite side, inhale, arms up. Exhaling into a fold with a bend in your knee. Stepping your right leg back this time, knee down and tuck your toes. And then again, if you want to, you can inhale, raise your arms up to the sky. Keep them down or on the front knee. Exhale, hands come down, step back into plank. Take a breath. Exhale, release your knees, your chest and your chin. Inhale, come forwards into Cobra. Lift your hands if you want to. Tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to step your right leg forwards this time. Give it a hand if it doesn't make it. Left knee down and tuck your toes. Inhale, hands onto the front knee if you want to, or all the way up in your lunge. Exhale, hands come down, step to the front of the mat into a fold. Inhale all the way up to the sky. Exhale to bring your hands to your heart. hopefully there's something accessible there for anybody that might want to try yoga. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm going to do the voiceover afterwards anyway. Any questions, just ask. My aim is to make yoga accessible for everybody and to ditch this whole idea that we have to be perfect and that it has to be done in an exact certain way. I want movement to be accessible to everybody. And the next thing that comes into to make it kind of more of a yoga than just movement is that you link your breath to the movement. So, and you inhale, if you can breathe through your nose, that's great. The inhalation through your nose, as you lift, as you open up, you're inhaling. And when you're making yourself smaller and folding down, that tends to be when you're exhaling. But the important thing, again, is not that you breathe at the right time, it's that you notice your breath and you control your breath. That's more important than whether you breathe with the inhale or with the up or the down. It's more important that you're just aware of your breath in the beginning. Like, stuff happens and develops over time, but in the beginning, just start. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day.